thank you for joining me today. And today I am going to share with you some scripting and then how to spawn a bunch of cubes at the same time. Okay, so let's start. When you click the spawn cubes, all the cubes spawn immediately, randomly in random position. And when you click destroy cubes, every spawn cubes will be destroyed. Okay, so today I will show you how to create a script tied to the buttons and make it, spawn immediately and destroy all the cubes immediately as well. Okay, great. So let's talk about scripts first. And we will go back to the Unity later. Okay, so Unity workshop number 7. And today I will talk about C# scripting, the second chapter. Okay, thank you for joining me today. And today I'm going to talk about the scripting. Now we are going to, last time we talked a lot about, some basic, variables and some other basic stuff. And now today I'm going to talk a little bit deeper about operations and also loops, conditions. Okay, so operations, it means that an operator is a symbol that tells the compiler to perform specific mathematical or logical manipulations. For example, you can see later on I will talk about some of the ceramic, rational, logic, assignment, those kind of basic operations. Okay, so what's arithmetic? It means that, it's kind of like a mathematics, right? So if you put plus, it means A plus B equals, let's assume that A is 10 and B is 20. So if you add two of them, it will be 30. So it's pretty much everything is really simple. So for example, subtract, right? Subtract A minus B equals minus 10, because 10 minus 20 equals minus 10, right? Multiplies, right? A multiplies B equals 200. B divided by A equals 2, right? 20 divided by 10 equals 2. So modulus. Modulus means that what's the remaining, right? What's the remaining? So because it's kind of even, so it's 0. Modulus. Increment, it means that A equals 10. So plus plus means add 1. Increment value by 1. So A plus plus equals 11. 10 plus 1 equals 11. A minus minus equals 9. 10 minus 1 equals 9. Right? So so those are kind of really basic, in C#. And let's talk about the rational. Rational means that, following kind of those kind of operators, and we can check which is true or false. So those operators, pretty much you can see double equal, right? Double equal means true or false. But if you see equal, later on we will talk about equal. If you see the top equal. Single equal means it's assigned to. C equals A plus B, right? So it means that C assigns value of A plus B. So it's very interesting that you see double equal B becomes Boolean, right? So so A dot because A is 10, B is 20, and A, double equal B is not true because 10 is not 20, right? So yeah, you need to use double equal instead of one equal, yeah. And if you put exclamation mark in front of equal, it means it's not true, right? You just put an equal, but you put exclamation mark. A, so you see like, it means that 10 is not equals to B, so it means it's true, right? Because 10 is not equals 20. So this is true. Another one, the third one, is that whether A is larger than B, right? A is larger than me is not true because 10 is not larger than 20, right? And we can see that. Yeah, so the following is very self-explanatory. So you can see the blue one, 5 double equals 6. Now 5 is not equals to 6, so the value returns false. A double equals 8, this returns true. So all those is kind of like return true or false, right? So later on, all those are very useful for condition, right? Condition, if statement, right? So if, and also a lot of stuff you can kind of compare and return true or false. Those are really, really helpful for a lot of, if statement. Later we will talk about. So you can see 4 is not equal to 5, 7 is not equal to 7, returns false, right? So we can see like those are basic mathematic problem or, basic kind of logic problem, but it returns true or false, right? Those are kind of like add up the value, right? And those are kind of return true or false. Another one is the logic, right? So we have and, right? Or if you put two lines, vertical lines, it means or. And if you put exclamation mark, it means not. Okay. So two like and is called and, right? And A and like A needs to be true, right? Oh, okay. So now A holds Boolean value true and B holds Boolean value false, right? So A means true, and those two means that both of them need to be true, right? So true, false, right? Because one of it is false, so you need to have false. So true, false is false. False, true is false. False and false is false. True and true is true. So only true and true is true. The rest of them are false for and. Or means that as long as there's one of it is true, it's true. So you can see true or, the second one I should put, hold on a sec. Yeah, this one I should put this. Yeah. Okay. So you can see true or false means true. False or true means true. As long as there is one true, it's true. So false or false, it means that, yeah, there's no true, so it's false, right? So, yeah, and true or true, like as long as there's one true, it's true, so it's true. And then not means that if you put exclamation mark in front of Boolean, it will flip it. For example, if it is putting in front of true, then it will become false because it's flipped. If you put an exclamation mark in front of false, it's true because the value flips. Assignment. Assignment means that you simply assign, the value, simply assign operator, assign values from right side operands to left side operands. So C equals A plus B assigns to value of A plus B into C. So yeah, pretty much you put, you can see the blue one. X plus equals 5 means that X equals X plus 5. Yeah. This, the X plus equal, subtract equal, multiply equal, divide equal, modulus equal. It's all kind of like, kind of a sign, right? So for example, like you can see the blue part. X equals X plus 5. Also, you can shorten it and write X plus equals 5, right? Or X, yeah, so you can see those two actually means the same thing. And the third one is X equals X subtract 5. You can also write X subtract equal 5. So those two are the same, so subtract 5 to X. Okay, so yeah, so those, you probably need to take some time to remember the rules, but those are really common if you kind of use C#. So conditions. Okay, so after we learn some basic of operators, then now we are talking about conditions. You can see the chart, right? So one, like when we are doing the condition, like when the computer runs to that if statement, it will kind of start judging like the parenthesis inside, like next to F. If inside the if statement, if this is true, then let's execute something. If it is false, then let's go out and doing something else. So that's kind of like, you kind of have some logics. If you kind of separate into different conditions and you start, kind of, the computer will start running in different conditions and check the fact. If it is true, then run something under it. If not, then go outside and check whether there's extra conditions. If not, then exit it out, right? So yeah, so let's see the simple if statement. If the condition is true, do something, right? So you can see the first one, if true, then do something, right? So the parenthesis inside if statement, if it is true, then let's execute something under it. For example, like the second one, if X larger than 3, then do something. So yeah, if X is larger than 3, for example, if X is 4, then it means that the if statement is true. Then it will start executing debug.log, right? The stuff inside. If, for example, X equals 2, if 2 larger than 3, now it's a false state, right? So it won't execute debug.log, semicolon, that X is larger than 3, right? Quotation mark, right? So yeah, so if you see like X like equals 5, is that true? Yeah, it means that if it is true, if X is 5, then debug.log will be executed. If X double equal 5, if this is false, if X is 6 or 7, then debug.log will not be executed. Okay, so the if else statement. If it is true, do something else. Do something else. Okay, so let's see if else statement. Let's see the first one. If something is true, right? Then start debugging. Debug log it is true. If the if statement, if it is not true, then it will execute the else part, which means that it will start executing debug.log. It is false, right? And let's take a look of the second one. If x is larger than y, then let's do something called debug.log. X is larger than y, right? And if x is actually smaller than y, then that's the computer will start executing else this part, debug.log. Y is larger than x. Okay, so let's take a look. If you want to have a lot of, statement in between if and else, you can put else if. Yeah, so for example, if it is true, do something. Else if, do something else. And at the end, you can put a lot of different else if. And at the end, you can put else, right? So for example, let's see the second one. If speed is larger or equal than 100, then do something, right? Debug.log, you drive too fast. For example, if speed is 200, right? Then the computer will start running the first statement. If it is true, then start executing debug.log, you drive too fast. Else if, it means that when the computer runs to the second one, right, it's larger and equal to 80. For example, if it is 90, right, then the first one speed large, for example, 90, right? 90 is smaller than 100. So if statement for the first one is false. So it will run to the second one, else if, and check the second one. And second one, yes, if the speed is 90, then 90 is absolutely larger and equal to 80. So it will start executing debug.log. You drive a little fast, right? So it will start executing it according to the order. And then once it finds its state, right, then it will execute whatever under it. So yeah, so it's very convenient to kind of check the logic, right? And if there's nothing fits above, it will come to at the end else, right? Everything not fit the first three will come to at the end. So yeah, and you can put as many else if as possible. Okay, let's take a look of loop. When you need to execute a block of code several numbers of times, you can use the while loop or for loop. Okay, so let's talk about while loop and for loop. The difference between while loop and for loop is that while loop you only need true or false. For loop you need first counter, second boolean, third one will be, you need to increment the start adding values for your counter. So yeah, for loop it's more accurate, and while loop is more, if you want something more basic, you can just use a while loop, right? So pretty much the loop thing is that if something, while loop, if inside while loop statement is true, it's just, keep doing it, right? For example, if the while loop is true, it just keep looping, but if until it's false, it just get out of the condition. For loop is the same thing, right? But inside it has more specific kind of like increment stuff. So yeah, so you can pick which one you want to use. So while loop, the difference between if statement and while loop is that if statement only runs once, And while loop has a series of code running until it reaches a false state. So for example, like if state, it's kind of like